I'm actually pregnant.
Tayla Hicks. She started competing in bodybuilding when she was just 17 years old.
So I've had a really horrible experience in the first trimester.
Won her pro card by the age of 20. Since then, Tayla has taken the competing world by storm.
What's important is when you have a setback is just to understand that the gym isn't everything. It helps with a lot of things, but there are other aspects in life that you may need to focus on at a given time. I've not told anyone my competing plans yet. Only thing is I have to qualify for Worlds, and I'm going to do this one.
Welcome back to the Comp Closet podcast. I'm super excited for today's episode because I'm here with the beautiful Tayla Hicks, who is an FMG Bikini athletic pro. She's had podium finishes on the world stage, and she's an incredible online coach. Tayla, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
It's a pleasure. So let's start at the start of your journey. What made you choose bodybuilding?
So my family were always very fit growing up, or always very athletic family. And my dad was a surfer. My mum was a surfer as well. And she was also a professional bodybuilder growing up. So I feel like I was kind of just like bred into fitness. And then of course, like my mum being a huge inspiration, like she inspired me tremendously to be the best version of myself and go to the gym and stuff. And then from there, I started competing. I did my first show when I was 17. And wow. I'm 23 now.
Amazing. And what age did you start training?
Started training when I was around 15, but I probably didn't take it as seriously as I do now. Obviously, you learn so much from the moment that you start training until, where we are now. But I just did what I could. I just started falling in love with bettering myself and just like the journey of the whole thing and getting up on stage. It was just, the whole thing about it that I loved.
Yeah. Do you feel like your family kind of influenced those early choices in your life?
Yeah, definitely. Not so much influenced, even just like they just pushed me to do anything and like whatever I loved. I didn't have a very easy childhood in primary school and high school with bullying and stuff like that. So they always pushed me to just do like what I loved and what made me happy. And that was bettering myself and going to the gym. And then from there, I got into bodybuilding.
And do you feel like competing kind of helped you through those difficult times in your life?
Yeah, it's even till this day, like I think that competing is something that I love doing. I don't do it as a distraction or anything, but it gives me a lot of purpose and something to focus on. I also just love the concept that I get to inspire people at the same time and help other people through experiences that maybe I went through and kind of like teach them and show them the way like that I took to find myself out of those uncomfortable situations and stuff as a younger kid.
Yeah, incredible. And do you feel like you worked on your mindset as well as, obviously your body?
Yeah, I honestly, I struggled a lot being young, like with my mental health, a lot. Like more than I like to admit. I worked with multiple psychologists, psychiatrists. My mum would come along with me to all of them. And together we worked a lot on my mental health. And I find that competing in the gym has helped me so much bring myself out of those bad headspaces and stuff.
Yeah, incredible. And socially, did you find it hard competing so young? A lot of girls are out drinking and partying and they're not in the gym every morning.
For sure. And you know what, I heard so much of that when I was growing up as well, because I pretty much grew up competing. 15, 16 is such a young age to start prepping. I remember posing in the mirror when I was 15, 16, thinking about Hattie Boydell, being I want to be that one day. So wait, what was the question?
It was about how competing impacted other areas of your life and socially.
Totally. So not really, only because I never found myself being that kind of person anyway. I've never been a big drinker, big partier. It's never been my social scene. I've always been quite socially anxious sometimes, which is kind of weird to think about because, I've got this big platform on social media and I compete and stuff. I think I'm kind of very introverted, but at the same time, I love to express myself. So I think expressing myself in the way that is comfortable for me is putting myself out of my comfort zone for one, but yeah, performing on stage and stuff like that. That's why I chose FMG to start with, because you get to be just wholeheartedly yourself and express yourself in like the bikini to the posing. It's so personalized. You just get to be so much yourself. So I think being able to express myself like that, no, I didn't feel like I was missing out on drinking or partying or anything, because I was having too much fun with what I was doing.
Think that's a similar reason to why so many people are drawn to FMG as a federation, as well as that self-expression.
Yeah.
Can you give the listeners a bit of a background on your competing history? Like walk us through what shows you did and what kind of happened along the way?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I first competed when I was 17, and I did a IFBB show. And I think I was 17 because I was too young to do FMG, but I was 17 and I got up on stage at the Amanda All-Female Classic and I took out Junior Champion, which was amazing because I didn't even know how to train back then. I just like gave it a crack, gave it my best. And I took out champion. I ended up entering in 3 categories and I placed first, second and third. So yeah, it was awesome. A really great first experience for me competing, and it kind of just like put a kick in my step to keep going. But yeah, I found that I really struggled after that prep because I was so young and it was a lot of like strain on my body. Yeah.
Yeah. And then from there, what shows did you do?
And then from there, I did the FMG. It was WBFF, but it's FMG now. I'm going to call it that. I did that show when I was 20, I think. I think I was 20 or 21. I can't even remember the dates now. Maybe I was... I was 20. So I did that show, which was an April show. And I prepped for 4 months for it. And I originally wasn't even going to do like that show. I wasn't even sure if I was going to compete again. I had so much fun doing that. But because of like how much my body and stuff suffered afterwards, I was kind of like, oh, maybe I'm just built for fitness and not like the competing side of things. But I did that prep, and because you don't have to be as lean and as like strict with everything and as dry and like robotic on stage, I did the prep for the FMG show and just fell in love. And I actually won my pro card. So that was amazing for me. I was 20, I won my pro card, and yeah, from there I did took the rest of that year off because COVID and stuff kind of cancelled the rest of the shows. The following year I prepped and I did the Worlds show. My first Worlds show, I was 21 and I came second in Worlds, which is amazing. After that, I did the October show, but I was going through a lot. These are the times where I'm calling like Toby, my posing coach, and he's just counseling me through everything. But I didn't do my best, but to not do my best and still place third was amazing for me because it just showed that, I really made it through everything and still got up on stage and, you're versing amazing women like in the pro lineup.
Yeah.
From there, I came back and I did Worlds the following year. I was 22. And then I came fourth there. And then I came back, did the October show last year, still 22, and I came second in Australia. So
incredible.
Yeah.
And how do you stay so consistent throughout that journey and, through adversity and with different feedback from judges?
For sure. I think like there was a lot of controversy that happened between like the two federations, hence why FMG took a stand back from WBFF, because it was so different compared to, we like to say the judging was the same, but realistically it's stupid to say that because like, nobody ever knew the standard overseas. So we never really knew how to come in or how to be competitive overseas. So it was really, it was really hard to go overseas.
Yeah, for sure. And what advice would you give to a competitor who is struggling during prep with things, in life outside of prep?
I think with prep, it's a whole like different mindset. And do you mean like struggling to find like the balance between life and prep, or like genuinely struggling in prep to like balance?
Like if they're in prep and they have things in life that come up that, distracting from prep, or they're going through a difficult time with mindset, what advice would you have to keep pushing through?
Well, personally, I think that obviously if, everything that's happening externally from the prep is hurting you like internally too much, take a step away from the prep. 100%. Like I'll always enforce that, because nothing is more important than like your well-being and your mental health. But if you're just struggling to find a little bit of balance and stuff, and maybe you feel like you're missing out on certain aspects, it's kind of like you have to choose. Like you really have to choose, because it's two different mindsets and it's two completely different lives that you step in. You either step into the prep life and you completely commit, or you take a step out. Maybe you're not ready yet. But yeah, when you know, like when you get into a prep and you're like, I'm in my groove and everything around me is perfect. I've got the support, and things will come up through your prep. But as long as you just know that you're like, this is your like your purpose, you're doing this for a reason, and remember your why you're getting up on stage. There's always a reason. If there's no reason for you like doing a prep and getting up on stage, then like you're actually a psycho, because there's always a reason. No one does that shit for no reason. But yeah, just remember your why, remember your reason, and yeah, push through.
What's your why for competing?
Oh, it makes me emotional to like think about, because do you know what? I think it's because I came from such I struggled a lot in my younger years, and I think to prove to myself that I'm not the people that I'm not the person that was bullied, and I'm not like the person that people made me out to be. I'm like me, I'm who I want to be, and this is what I want to do. And like every single time I compete, I prove that to myself, that I can literally break through any adversity for myself. And that's so important to myself, is to always like have my own back and succeed in whatever I want to do. I think I just have a lot of respect for myself because of like what I've had to push through. And yeah, I feel like I say this to myself, like I won't let you down.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. And I think that's really cool for other competitors to know that you went through that, because they might have been through something similar, and they don't realize that when they just see you up on stage looking incredible. Yeah. What changed when you won your pro card?
My whole life changed, honestly. My whole life changed. I went into that show pretty confident. Every show I go into, I'm very confident. Like I go in with a winner's mindset, and that's not to say like if I don't win, I'm completely disappointed. I just feel like it's necessary for people to go in with a winner's mindset. Like you do everything that you do with a winner's mindset to succeed. And wait, I keep forgetting the question. That's my ADHD. I'm like, I need
what changed when you won your pro card?
Yeah, so honestly, my whole life changed, everything, because I didn't even really feel like I wanted to compete again, as I said. And then when I won my pro card, I was like, holy shit, like I'm this person now. Like, and I got so much love from it afterwards. And I was like, do you know what? Like, I'm going to use this to use my voice and help other girls and like be an inspiration to women. So if anything, like it was a blessing, not for selfish reasons. I was completely just like, I now get to use my voice, and people get to like look at me now as an inspiration. And yeah, I get to inspire. That was the main thing.
Yeah, incredible. And I feel like you did have such a big impact when you won your pro card. Like there's certain competitors that they go pro and then just everyone knows them. Like I feel like, your following was growing, you got brand deals. Can you tell me a bit more about how you actually grew your social media?
Yeah, so it happened very organically. My social media grew because I was doing all of these shows, and I was kind of hitting the right targets with all of my like niche of following, and people who were kind of maybe in the same boat of fitness, people who were wanting to compete or wanting to better themselves. That was kind of all of the content that I was putting out, because again, as I said, like when I turned pro and I was able to use my voice, I started using my voice, and people just were attracted to that, and they wanted to be involved in that. And I was very lucky to have a lot of people come on board and follow my account so I could help more people. Yeah,
incredible. And you have had some insane sponsorships and brand deals. What are your top tips for someone who wants to get some of those sponsorships or deals themselves?
Be authentic is a huge one. I have on social media, and anyone listening to this who like has my social media, you will know that on my social media, I am like nothing but myself. Like I'm the weirdest person you will ever meet, and you see that through my social media. I'm so authentic, and I find that it's relatable as well. Like goes back to like my childhood. I always tried to be somebody else to fit in, and it got me nowhere. Like it got me around the wrong crowds, the wrong people, nobody who I could relate to, I never felt like home with a group of friends. And then I started being authentically myself. And then my group came to me, and then my followers came to me, and we were just like this party of like weird people inspiring each other.
Yeah, I love that. And that definitely shows through your content. Like,
yeah.
How do you stay so authentic when you're promoting brands or sponsored deals?
I think my huge tip for that is don't take on any brand deals or sponsorships and stuff like that you don't align with. So every brand deal and sponsorship that I have, I've aligned with like completely, whether it's supplements, hair, makeup, skin, or activewear and stuff like that. I will test it before I accept the sponsorship and be like, yes, this feels like me, because I live and breathe my sponsors. Like, they are like the reason I get to do a lot of the things that I get to do, and a lot of the exciting things that I also get to do, like collections and stuff, collaboration collections. And that's like amazing for someone like my age to just be doing. Having my own collection with Tahira was a huge one, a huge accomplishment for me. And yeah, getting to work with Sarah Jade Hair as well through the last like 3 years I've worked with her. So yeah, be authentically you, and either your sponsors will find you, or you can say no to sponsors that don't align to you.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Can you share more about the process of actually doing your own collection with Tahira? Because that's so cool, and I think the dream for a lot of women.
Yeah, so it's actually crazy. So originally I worked with Riderwear when I first got into like the fitness industry, and they reached out to me and I accepted a sponsorship deal with them. And I remember it had been a dream for me to work. I don't really want my own activewear to be brand, like, to be completely honest. I always wanted to work with an inspiring brand that I aligned with and their values and morals and everything as a company. And I was working with Riderwear for a while, and I remember reaching out to them and being like, hey, what does it take to be able to have my own collection with you guys one day? Because I looked up to like Lauren Simpson and that, who had her own collection with them. And I was like, do you know what? This would be amazing. With everything that I stand for, I could, put this on women's bodies as well and make them feel good about themselves. And yeah, it was something ridiculous that was completely unachievable for me at that time. So I ended up saying goodbye to them because I no longer aligned with that. Like, it wasn't, where it was going to take me wasn't really like worth what I was getting. So I was able to say, hey, look, I'm going to like take a step back and then find a brand that I align with and that's going to grow with me, and that, yeah, we can grow together. So that's when Carly and I connected. Carly and I have been friends for years, and she was actually the first inspiration that I ever had in the fitness industry. So when we started working together, it was honestly so surreal, because, when you look up to someone and then all of a sudden you're like in the same room with them, and then you're talking with them, and then, maybe you're sponsored by them, and now I have my collection with her. So yeah, the process behind that, yeah, it happened over time, but I think me being so authentically myself and showing up as myself, Carly saw that and was like, you don't need X amount of followers. You don't need X amount of reach. You don't need this. Like, your message is enough, and I want that to be a part of my collection, and I want to put this on women's bodies and make them feel how you want them to feel.
That is so exciting. And it must feel so surreal seeing your collection actually out there and seeing people wearing it.
It is.
What emotions like run through your head when you see that?
I was just like, honestly, because when I was like 15 years old, like, life seems so hard, so freaking hard when you're 15. And I just remember thinking, like, I've always had, even though life seemed hard, I always had so much like hope in myself. Like, always knew I was going to make it in something, no matter what I did. And yeah, seeing my collection come out and like working with Carly on the collection and seeing it, doing the shoot with her, the campaign shoot, seeing people like sell out my product like on her website and stuff like that. It was honestly surreal, because it just like, it was a full circle moment coming back to when I was 15, thinking like, I want to do this one day, and I'm going to do this one day. And then you're sitting there like, holy shit, I've just done that.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. I feel like life in the sport definitely has so many highs and lows, and that's definitely a big high. Can you tell me about a setback that you've had in your journey and how you overcame that?
So I have a current setback currently, which it's a surprise. I've not announced this yet, but I'm actually pregnant.
Congrats!
Thank you. And the pregnancy isn't the setback, by the way. I have been diagnosed with hyperemesis, so I've had a really horrible like experience in the first trimester. I've been like in and out of hospital, bed bound. Like I've, not been able to eat, drink, constant severe nausea, getting drips and having doctors come to you and all of that kind of stuff. So it's been a scary and really tough first trimester for me, and I've not trained like at all, and that's huge for me. Like you go from training from when you're 15 until you're 23 like every single week consistently, because that's just like that's the boxes you tick every week, to not training at all. And I think like what's important is when you have a setback is just to understand that the gym isn't everything. It helps with a lot of things, but there are other aspects in life that you may need to focus on at a given time, because at the end of the day, like this is your life to live. And I think, whether, there are other mums who are struggling with like first trimester sickness, you obviously have a different purpose currently to focus on. And you can go back to the gym. Like I'm sure I won't be sick forever. Like I'll be able to go back to the gym. So I think that's the main thing, is just like focusing on like your purpose for right now. For example, if someone needs to take a break due to like mental health or something, like, you need to take a break for your mental health, and that's your purpose right now to fix that. And then, going back to the gym, it's always going to be there. You can always go back to that.
Yeah. Congrats. I'm so happy for you. Are there certain things that you're prioritizing to kind of keep your sanity and happiness while you can't go to the gym?
Yeah, I think it's quality time. Like, as much as I can, getting quality time with my partner, getting quality time with friends and stuff like that. And then also just catching up with the girls in like the fitness industry and stuff like that, not being a stranger. I think, networking is a huge thing. So I'm able to use my social media for that and like reach out to girls and just chat and, still inspire and still help young women. And women of all ages, in fact, just like be the best version of themselves. I've still been able to type and do my check-ins and work and stuff, which has been amazing. So I think I'm still fulfilling my purpose. I just haven't been able to go to the gym, but I'm still fulfilling a purpose.
Yeah, well, that's a very exciting next chapter for you.
Thank you.
Where does that leave you with, like, what are your plans for competing? Do you know what you'll do?
I've not told anyone my competing plans yet, and I know this won't be out straight away, but I'm going to aim for next year, late next year. Only thing is I have to qualify for Worlds, so I'm not too sure what show I'm going to be able to bring it in for like soon enough, because I want to be able to. I'm doing athletic like next, like this is I'm now an athletic pro, so I'm gonna have to train because I've had a couple of months off. I'll get back into it, and then hopefully next year, if not the following year, maybe a mid show the following year.
Yeah, that's very exciting, and there's so many cool overseas shows to choose from as well, so exactly. I'm sure you'll be able to get your qualification for Worlds.
100%.
How do you feel when people say you're their motivation? Because I know at the start of this year, I was seeing everyone posting their vision boards and things, and you were just popping up everywhere on people's vision boards. So like, how does that feel to you?
It feels surreal because, like, again, I'm like, holy shit, like, that's me. Like, people look up to me, my voice is being heard. I'm able to help people and inspire people. And people are looking up to me and looking up to my hard work. And I think, like, most importantly is, like, when people hear my journey or understand like my journey fully, they can like take a step back and be like, do you know what, if she can do it, I can do it as well. And having me on their vision board, I think it just it portrays that they're channeling that energy that, if she can do it through all adversities, then so can I. So I
absolutely love that. And it's says something about how far you've come and what you've achieved to get to the point where so many people look up to you as an inspiration, which is super cool.
Yeah, it's surreal.
So going back to FMG, they've introduced the new bikini athletic category, and as you've said, you're a bikini athletic pro. How do you feel about this new category?
I love it. I'm obsessed with it because I obviously, when I was 20 and I competed in bikini, and I've obviously competed in bikini up until now, I just kept growing. Like I kept getting harder, and I kept growing my body parts. I ended up stop training quads completely because my cuts in my quads were too full on. And yeah, I was significantly like getting kind of pushed out of bikini. I was still placing high. I was able to pose and like cover certain areas of my body that were coming in a little bit too hard, a little bit too sharp, but I was way too small for fitness. And if I wanted to be competitive in fitness, I would have had to take a couple of years off. And I didn't want to take a couple of years off. I wanted to just like go for it because I loved it. I enjoyed it so much. So I'm excited for this new category because it's obviously a mix between the two. It's a more athletic, bikini looking, physique. So I'm really excited to see the girls, tomorrow and see how they look.
Too.
Yeah.
Was it difficult, like not training to your full potential or not feeling like you can, fully push hard in the gym and you had to stop training quads?
Yeah, it was. And mainly in my posing as well, because, I've got like a lot of comfortable poses that I loved hitting, and I remember I would hit them and you could just see like like this is in America, you could just see the judges being like, no. They were like, yeah, no. Like as soon as I'd hit my front shot, I wouldn't even get a second look. So now that there's the athletic in there, I'll be able to hit that front shot like no tomorrow. And a lot of other girls who do get leaner throughout the legs are going to be able to enhance that. And that's the whole reason behind like FMG is being like, well, it's so individualized to the person, and a lot of people, no two people are the same. So it's really good that we added this category because, there are girls that are small but get really lean and can't help it. Like myself and my lower body. So I'm excited to see how it takes off and who the new pros are going to be.
Yeah, me too. I'm very excited to watch everyone. What's another change that you've seen in FMG that you think is really positive?
The community, for sure. I think when we separated from WBFF, we left behind a lot of the people who we didn't align with. That's why we separated, because we no longer aligned with the values and the morals and just honestly everything that the owners and the community aligned with. So stepping away from that, we have completely not even built it from scratch, because we were always in there with these like values and morals. So we've stepped away, and we've got this beautiful community now that we feel like we have a home and a place to fit, where we don't feel like we need to hide, or we don't feel like we need to shy away. Because, there was times where I was getting told off for posting certain things on social media. Or for example, if I posted my front shot on social media and you could see the cuts in my quads immediately, it would put a bad taste in, the judges' mouths overseas, because they knew I was coming in too lean and I was already getting overlooked. So I feel like we're just completely, like, it's a judgment-free zone in not WBFF, lol, FMG. Complete judgment-free zone. And I'm just like, I'm so happy that we brought this here, because honestly, after everything that happened in America with WBFF, I thought that there was no future with competing anymore for me and so many other girls, because nobody wanted to compete with WBFF anymore. So we were like, where do we go? Like, we don't want to be anywhere else. We want to keep this same thing going. So
yeah, I think it is such an incredible community that's already been formed with FMG, and the vibes are just so high coming into the show. Like everyone's so excited and everyone's so positive, which is really incredible.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to compete but they're kind of like shy and introverted and they don't really know anyone else in the industry?
Honestly, get yourself out there, find a coach and start to get yourself out there, because you'll regret it if you don't. Like, you'll go your whole life or maybe a couple of years like regretting all of the opportunities that you didn't take. And I know for a fact that so many girls get into this industry and they start mingling and meeting the other girls in this industry, especially at Red Joe Night or, the community events that we have. They're meeting other girls and they're like, these are my best friends for life now. I've met some of my bestest friends for life when I walked in and I knew nobody. So I just started reaching out to girls. Before the shows, I was reaching out to a couple of competitors, and I'd be like, hey, I'm up in the Gold Coast, like, can we catch up and train? And just networking and stuff like that, and meeting one person at a time if you have to. I think it's huge competing, because you are completely out of your comfort zone for someone who's extremely introverted. But if it is your passion that's deep down inside of you, then I say absolutely go for it. Don't hold back.
I think it definitely helps bring people together as well, even if you are shy or introverted, because you have the same goal that you're both aligned to, and you're going through the same kind of experiences with prep, which is really cool.
All support each other. It's amazing. It's an amazing community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we do have a couple of questions from the question box on Instagram.
Oh, I didn't even know you did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you crave during prep?
Honestly, I don't have too many cravings during prep. I just crave more of what I'm eating. Like, I think when you're so tunnel visioned and in the right mindset during prep, you're just so focused that food is fuel. And I'm just craving more of what I'm eating, like more peanut butter oats or like more rice, more carbs, more bagels, more butter. Like, yeah, so I wouldn't say anything in specific. I'm pretty boring. Like, I keep my meals very, very boring. But yeah, I just crave more.
Yeah, I'm the same actually. The thing I always crave during prep is like a giant bowl of oats. Like I'll be eating my little 30 grams of oats and I'm like, I want 100 grams.
And you make it thicker so it takes you forever to eat.
Yeah, and get the teaspoon out.
Yeah, the teaspoon, the baby spoon. I've got like a collection of baby spoons.
Oh, that's so good.
It helps.
And last question, what's your best tip for training?
Best tip for training. So what evolved my training so much, so drastically, and why I have such a big transformation from the last time I stepped on stage to my most recent is pre-activation and priming drills. Highly, highly recommend to save yourself from injuries and obviously activating the correct like muscle group before training. That's a huge one. It changed my life. And if your coach isn't giving you pre-activation drills or priming drills, then ask for them or like source them elsewhere because it's a huge, significant difference in my physique from, even my first show until now. Yeah,
amazing. So do you think that's helped you grow like specific areas that you wanted to improve?
100%. I was super quad dominant and always struggled with my quads, and I have barely trained my quads my whole competing journey, and they've stayed pretty fine. But I really needed to bring up my glutes and my hamstrings, and if you've seen like one of my comparisons before or after, it's amazing. I'm super proud of that.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
So where can people find you to follow your journey and find out about your coaching services as well?
So either my Instagram, which is Tayla Hicks Fitness, or my website, which is taylorhicksfitness.com.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your exciting news with us.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
My pleasure.